Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to book an appointment. But before we get into the whole depths of an appointment, I want to just show you quickly how to book an appointment. To do that, we're going to click on our Book Appointment icon on the main menu. And right now, we can see we have a blank grid. We can quickly add a grid to our schedule by selecting Doctor Schedule. We can pick a doctor from the list, so I'm going to just choose a doctor here. And I can select the time that the doctor is coming in. So let's say from 12 to say 4 p.m. Click on Add. And let's suppose they're coming as well next Tuesday on the 18th at the same time. I can click on Add, and the 25th. Click on Add. So we've created a schedule. So now that we have our schedule here, I want to book an appointment. All I have to do is simply highlight the time slot and click on Add. Alternatively, you can double click. It's the same thing. And look for our customer. So I'm going to put a customer in the system right now who's already here. I'm going to select that customer. This customer takes 10 minutes. The doctor recommends 10 minutes. We can increase or decrease that time if we'd like. I'm going to leave it as it is and simply click on OK. And that's it. We're done. We've booked our first appointment. Now I want to show another thing. In addition to booking an appointment, if somebody has a smartphone, you can click this button that says smartphone, and a QR code will appear on the screen. They can scan this code with their phone, and it will program the calendar on their phone with the appointment information along with your company's name and telephone number. So it's another convenient aspect of our application that we support. Let's go ahead. We can scan this with our phone. I'm going to go ahead and assume that we scanned it. And there's a question asking, did it work? So I'm going to say yes. And if it does work, the appointment will be highlighted in yellow. I'm going to make this thing a little wider. And you can see it says confirmed as the status has arrived. And that's it. Now let's suppose this customer decided that 1 o'clock wasn't good for them and they would rather book next week sometime around 2:30. So what I can do, I can highlight the customer's name, click on reschedule, and I'm going to click next week at 2:30, and then click move, and click the check mark when we're done. And that's it. Customer has been rescheduled. So booking an appointment is simple and easy. In this video, we're going to explain how to set up a doctor with the system. To begin, we're going to click on Users Tools, then Doctors. On this page, we can add our new doctor. We simply click on Add, and we fill in all the details that you have for the doctor. So I'm going to add in a doctor called Vincent Key. I'm going to put an address in here. Put the telephone number. And you can fill any other optional information. Now, if this doctor is available for appointments, we want to click on a little check mark here saying available for appointment. And we're going to actually give the system information about how long this doctor takes for each age group. So here's the age groups here, and we want to specify the times. Now the reason why we do that is when we start to book an appointment, our appointment scheduler is intelligent enough to take into account all these different age groups. So, but this doctor, I'm going to put 20 minutes across the board. But if you'd like, for certain age groups, like when people do maybe an eye dilation, things like that, you may want to add a little extra time. Again, these are baseline times. You can always increase or decrease an appointment time on the appointment schedule. So once we fill in all the times, we're going to click on Done. At this point, we can add a doctor's schedule if you know it right away, or we can delay that for the next step. To add a schedule, we can just simply click on View Schedule, and you can just start entering, click on the calendar, start and end time, just click on Add to add the date. If you want to add this a later time, you can do that as well. One more thing about this, you can always set an icon for the doctor. If you have multiple doctors in the system, it might be confusing to see who's who. So at a glance, if you give them an icon, you can click this button here, you can choose different icons for your doctor. So I'm going to, for example, put an icon here. Let's say we want these pair of glasses, and we're good with that. Exit that. Now, if a doctor is using our system to do their eye examinations, then that's great. They do the examination, they enter their prescription directly in the system. When you place your order, you'll be there right away for you to use. However, there's some situations where a doctor, they don't really want to use anybody's computer system. They would prefer to have things on their own chart, print it out, and take it home with them. So we're prepared to work either way. If a doctor would prefer to have their own chart, we can click here, Label Chart, and the system will generate a chart for the doctor. And here we are. So all you have to do is just fill in the names, like here, Dr. Vincent Key. Put their address. And probably a phone number would be good. And you can duplicate that information on the side. Again, this is a template. We can always change the information here. The look, this is a very basic look where I just put OD and OS and add. If you want all the different individual boxes, the columns and rows, you can do that as well. But this is just a starting template. Again, there's also a receipt on the right. So let's suppose this doctor charges $150 for an examination. Here's our medical chart. Again, these are defaults that come in the system. If your doctor uses a different chart, you can have them send it to us in a PDF format or preferably Microsoft Word format, and we can convert that over. If it's a PDF file, we would make it as an image and as an underlay and put an overlay of text on it. And this is our file. You can also change the doctor's name here if you don't want this to be like that. And probably their license number. And if you have their signature, you can embed it. If you want them to sign by themselves, you can have them sign as well. And that's it. Click on Save, and we're done. We're ready to start booking appointments, which we'll show you in the next step. Alright, so now that we've added a doctor to the system, let's go ahead and start booking appointments. So before we do that, it's probably a good idea to put the doctor's schedule in the system. We could do that multiple ways. The first way, go back to our doctor records, and I'm going to click on in-house doctors. If we have a drop-down list here, you can see it's quite large, and we can pick the doctor from the list if we want, but if we just want to make this list a little smaller for the doctors that use our system, not people from outside, we can click on in-house, and it will make that list a little smaller. And I'm going to pick Vincent Key. And if I want to add a schedule here, I can click on View Schedule, and I can create the start and end times. So let's suppose we have a doctor coming today at, say, 2 p.m., and they're going to leave at 4 p.m. I'm going to click on Add. And let's suppose they're going to come the Tuesday after that, and let's say the 2 weeks after that. There we go. So we have our schedule added. We can close the window here, and we can view our schedule. To view our schedule, we click on Book an Appointment. And here's our schedule already on the screen. Now, in addition to adding the schedule from the doctor's records, we can actually do it from here as well, Doctor Schedule. We can pick a doctor from the list, Vincent Key, select, and we can add another schedule if you want. Let's suppose we want to add it for Thursday and say the doctor's coming in, say, 6 p.m. and ending at, say, 8. So you can keep adding and changing as you need to the schedule. Another way to do it is on the main menu. If we go under the tab Doctor, we can add a schedule from here. Again, you can pick a doctor from the list, Vincent Key, and you can add your schedule. Now, I'll just give you a shortcut. If you've already selected a doctor, like here on the calendar we have the doctor selected, if we click Show All Appointments, it will automatically select that same doctor and show all the appointments for that doctor for the month. So we do that, and it's one sort of quick step. Pick the doctor from the list. We don't have to do that. It's already picked for us. We can just start adding our times as required. That's easy for that part. That's it. Let's go on to the next part. So now that we have our schedule up and running, let's suppose we want to book an appointment. So this is exactly like placing an order. We just double click on a time slot. Let's say we want to do the first one, 2 p.m. and we'll search for our customer. So I'm going to put in, say, test and select. Now, as per our setup, initial setup, we set 20 minutes, as you can see here. Now, you can always increase or decrease that time as necessary, but I'm going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to click on OK. And that's it. Make this window a little bit wider. You can see all the columns. Now let's go ahead and add another person, but this time let's suppose they're not in the system. So I'm going to say I want it for 3 o'clock, double click. I'm going to put a phone number. This person's not in the system. Would you like to create the record? I say yes. It's a family individual. Let's say it's an individual. And that's it. We can put the date of birth. Let's suppose it was 1970. We don't have a current prescription on file, so I'm going to say finished, and we're done. Again, doctor takes 20 minutes. We're good with that. And that's it. Now, another feature we have in the system is support for using QR codes. Well, what a QR code will do is if someone's using a smartphone, if we click their name and we click here the button smartphone, it will generate this QR code on the screen. If you scan this with your smartphone, you'll be able to book the appointment directly into your phone. Let's give an example of that. Over on our Android device, I'm going to launch my barcode app, and I'm going to hold the phone to the screen. And once I've done that, the phone will capture the barcode, the QR code, and give me the option to say if I would like to add this to my calendar. So I'm going to tap on Add to Calendar. And here's my appointment. I can just simply tap Save. And we're done. The appointment's now added to our schedule. So back over to our desktop, the application will ask if the phone was able to read the QR code. I'm going to select yes, and you'll see my appointment is now confirmed. The status now changed to confirmed on the arrived column. So this is a quick and easy way for people to book appointments on their phone, on their device, and have that appointment transfer from device to device. So it would be on their phone, on their tablet, on their PC. It's a very, very convenient way, and it really works well with modern times. Rather than having to write on the back of a business card and people trying to remember where they put that card or got lost in their purse. Since we've added that appointment, you can see I've got a notification on my desktop. Here's the appointment already here showing up. So that's kind of cool. I can copy the appointment to my phone, and all my devices will inform me as a patient that I have to see the doctor. One more thing we're going to do now is a doctor who uses our system would be able to enter their prescriptions directly in the system, but let's work on a system that, assuming the doctor is not using our system. Let's make that assumption they're going to be just using pen and paper. So if they're going to be using pen and paper, the first thing we want to do is, of course, we want to confirm all these appointments. So I'm going to click on Reminder. Let's suppose the person, I left a message on their machine, so I can click on Left Message. Okay. Now, on the day of the exam, I'm going to click on Check-in. If the person showed up, I'm going to click Yes for Arrived. And if we want to print this medical chart for this person, I click on Print Medical Chart. So I'm going to go ahead and preview this so you can see on the screen. And here we go. Here's our medical chart. The chart we worked on is already filled in with the patient's information, their health card, and their current prescription, as well as the doctor's information at the bottom. And that's it. There you have it. In addition to being able to print a medical chart, we can also place an order directly off the appointment schedule. Let's suppose a patient has gone to the doctor, they came out with a prescription, and they're ready to start making a purchase. Let's go ahead and place an order directly from the medical chart. Directly from the appointment schedule. So with that, we can go ahead and place an order for a pair of glasses or contact lenses or what have you directly from the system. There's no need to enter all that information all over again. Now again, if the doctor is using the system, all this will be populated. If not, you can simply update the information by clicking Modify Prescription or add a new one and filling in the details. Alright, and you're good to go at this point. I want to show you one more thing aside from placing an order. A lot of times you'll have people who have given you their cell phone number, so we can send them a text message to remind them of an appointment. They may have given you an email address as well. So rather than calling people by voice, it's a nice way if we can send out electronic reminders. So I want to show you how to do that. I'm going to clear these notifications right now. Let's set them as blank. Let's suppose this is the day before the appointment. So what we can do to send out notifications, under the Reminder tab, we click on Notification Tool. Let's open this up. We can choose all the appointments for today. By default, it's today's date, but you can choose the range if you want to change it from, say, to the end of the week, let's suppose. Click on Get Data. These are the appointments that we have coming up. We can click on Send Notifications. So anybody who has a mobile number or anybody who has an email address, they will be sent a notification. Well, what is that notification, we'll ask? Well, here is what it would look like generically. This is something that we've cooked up. But if you want to make your own message, you can go to Tools, Appointments, and you can create your own message. We have an appointment message builder here, so I'm going to kill this for now. And let's suppose you want to say, dear, put the person's first name. Just a reminder, you have an eye examination at, put the appointment time. Please bring your health card. That's it. You can update it. Let's do our get data again. And you can see the message has been altered. Now, if we're ready to send out these notifications, I can click on Send Notifications. At this point, all your customers will have been notified. Now, how do we know who's been notified? Anyone who has a check mark beside their name, these people have been electronically notified. You also know that by the mobile and email columns. Now, if they don't have any of those contact pieces of information electronically, there is no check mark like this person here. So that person you'll have to manually call and notify. And if you call them and notify them, you can just click on here, Manually Notified. And that's it. So now back to our appointment schedule. You can see these have changed to orange because they've been notified. And if I go back over to my phone, I will see that there is a text message waiting for me from the system. So the idea is to reduce the amount of steps you have to use to contact a customer, the amount of steps you have to use to place an order, and repeating information that's already in the system over and over again by capturing it just one time and capturing it correctly. It's really as simple as that. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.